So this first live will be in English and hopefully on Facebook and on Instagram. And I have no idea why Facebook just shut down my page. Hi Tiffany, hi Karine, how are you? I'm really so happy to read your name here. I see someone on Facebook, so if it works, please wave your hands or tell me you're here because it has been very complicated tonight to log on Facebook. For the person who just joined us, this live will be in English. It's all about connections and human beings, and I'm really happy to see you. So it will have there will be like 3 parts. So I'm just explaining the live show for the person who just came for the very first time. So I'm Aylen Hagan. I'm an interview writer. I'm doing interview and writing books and created a books 1 year ago, which is called Heartist, and this is my book. It's made with interviews, and I will speak about it a bit later. I I'm very happy to host the live in English, just because, as you can tell, it's not my native language, but I have been living in a lot of places, and especially in Australia, in New York, in Great Britain. So I'm very happy to see your name here tonight, because I really want to thank you. You are part of this book and you are part of my journey for sure. So we will have a first part in this live show, which will be about the book. So the book, I made these 391 interviews, and I made them all anonymous in my book, meaning I can't really tell you who are these people in the book, but I will be able to give you some information, some anecdotes, some behind the scenes, or just get inspired by what the people said here. And I really, this live, the purpose of this live is to interact with you. So I invite you to interact, to comment, to wave, to tell me how it does inspire you. And the second part would be, I have a little suitcase, so for the one who already hosts me in England or in New York, you know that I never had a little suitcase. So this one is big, but it is the collection I made from all the people that I met. So not only the ones in my book, but also the people that I met, and that when we swapped cards, I received a lot of gifts, and so that's the purpose of the second part of the show. And normally I'm typing with my old typewriter, the one that I use to make the book. I'm typing a text and a story, a free mind story about my day, but tonight, because it is a special night with my British and US and Canadian and Switzerland and Sweden fellows, I, I will tell a story about stories and the connection between human beings. So be there at the very last part of the show. So I'm still not sure about Facebook. Does it work or not? I won't spend all my time to just checking technical things, but it is really, we are the 10th episode of my live show, and it is the very first time that Facebook shut down and doesn't allow me to launch the live, so I'm pretty concerned about it. But it doesn't matter. I'm here with you. For the people who don't know me, I'm Aylen Hagan, and I come from Earth, planet Earth. So maybe you do too. And so we can maybe start. So we will start with the book. As I said, it's a book made with almost 400 interviews, and someone told me, so it's mainly in French, but it contains 5,065 pieces and fragments of human beings and the people who answers to my questions. I mixed them all together, so you don't have a proper interview by interview. You just have a mix with themes and topics all around the book. And someone told me yesterday that he tried to translate the live shows with an online automatic translator, and obviously it works pretty well. So I invite you to watch the other live show that I made, so the nine firsts, and because I give a lot of stories, a lot of yeah, as I said, behind the scene. Hi Sabrina. Uh, I know you, but you're an English speaker, do you? You are. Are you? So yeah, that and we also tried when I was in London to translate the fragments with automatic tools like Google's Google Camera, and actually it works pretty well. So you can read the fragment that I typed in English, so it's about 800 on 5,000, and it works with the the camera tool of Google, so you can try to translate if you want. Hi Guillaume. I have French on Facebook and Sweden and Brighton on Instagram. Very happy of that. And I probably lost a lot of people on my professional page because, as I said, it didn't work. So let's see. I will fix it. Anyway, so let's start with the book. So for the people who knows me or who have been in the interview, or the live show, who already follow it, I use a dice in my interview, and I had two other dices. So this one with these numbers and this one there. So I rolled the dice, and then it chose a page from the book. That's the way it works. The big one. Wait, wait. It's okay. So 850 in 3. 850 and 3. So 853, third page. I will probably just quick look. Now I have the cat who's playing with the dice. So Tiffany, you might know what I'm doing. I'm home sitting, so I have a new friend. So 853. What are we going to talk about tonight? So I will only read the fragments in English. Makes the thing easier. So, okay, there's some. He wrote a book just to spread his knowledge and offer it to other people. It's very much more a film about a human being, a very special human being, who had shared quite a lot of his life stories and his experiences of going to space and to the moon. Hi, David. You only speak English, do you? I'd like to write a book on lettering someday. I think it could be an interesting one for youngsters. I don't know if I can really teach someone to be an artist, because to me, that is the thing which comes naturally. But if somebody needs to be motivated to do something, I will take him or her and say, I am going to paint a wall. Do you want to come with me? I can offer that. And if you ask me a question and I know the answer, I can show you how I do it. It doesn't mean it is the right way to do it. It is simply mine. If you ask other artists, maybe they won't do this that way. But the way that I do it, I would gladly and willingly show anyone. I'm not, Guillaume, I'm in Paris. I was teaching what I needed to learn. There is more to life than math, certainly, and there is more to life than education. People, for a variety of reasons, are not able to access education in its current form in my country and in this year, because of things that are going on for them or things that are happening to them. So it's never ever about a grade or subject. There is more to it than that. So I hope that the students come to a lesson and they try their best and they enjoy some lessons and learn things. But if they don't, and I have done my best to give them that opportunity and supported them, then that is the main thing. Let's turn another page. Okay, the last two ones, and then we'll talk about it. I have always liked teaching people. I used to think when I was in high school that I wanted to be a history teacher. I like sharing what I know about things, and I think it comes from that I like to have a very complete, holistic understanding of what I am interested in, so that I can turn it around and examine it from other angles and say, what if I took these elements and changed them? What would happen? So, applying that understanding to things like music, I have an intense to music because of the way it allows me to perceive the world, the way it allows me to understand the world in terms of vibration and frequency. So, asking me what I know about music theory, even though it is not very much, is usually a pretty good start for a conversation. And I do tell people that whether they ask me or not, or if the subject comes up, I start talking about it. My best gift is teaching and being able to enthuse people about the project. Communicating our passion is the best gift ever, for sure. Here we go. That was the pages around 8053. And I have this big cat who's playing with my dice all around. Oh no, I won't close the book actually. What does inspire you? What do you think about these fragments? I can tell you a bit of stories with them. So please feel free to comment, to wave your hand, to say hello, to say, I don't speak any English. I don't understand you, I don't get your accent. What can I say? So, of course, you guessed the main topic of this part. It's all about, it's about education, but it's more about transmitting or passing on your knowledge to people, and especially in arts. One is speaking about the book, one is speaking about the movie. This girl is speaking about lettering. Actually, she was a girl, and she was an artist. She is still, and she was speaking about a father and a grandfather. That she was always observing them to do lettering, and she thought that drawing letters was an art. And actually it is, but that's why she loves writing, and because she thought that she was like painting or drawing something. So that's why she was talking about a book on lettering that could be very interesting for youngsters. And what about her? Oh, it's her too. She was a street artist, and she was painting murals, and she was remembering a time that when she was a little one, or a beginner as an artist, she was uh, invited by huge artists, and she was always observing them doing their murals. And so now she was really and gladly, willingly show anyone who was asking her how to do something. And I like the fact that she mentioned that she will show her way to do things, and that doesn't mean it is the best way, it is her way. That's what she said. And I was teaching what I needed to learn. I like this. What do you think? Do you teach? Do you transmit or pass on your passion or your art? Let me know. Hi, bonjour David. Hi, Suka. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, let me know what do you think about it. Does it inspire something for you? Does it recall something? Like, have you been inspired, or have you been taught by someone very important in your life? What's how they teach you? How they taught you? And this one was a pure math teacher. I met him in Norwich, and he was really he was talking more about how to teach someone than really the math is material in this. Tonight is the mess. So the mess with Facebook, the mess with the cat. I don't know where I'm going to find my dice. Okay, he is is connected to us. Hey. The dice were in this. Anyway, so the math teacher was a very nice guy, and he was trying to help students not to learn math but to learn how to learn, and we had a big talk with him about what it feels as a teacher when your students just overpass your knowledge or are able to create things even in maths. So that was a very good conversation. I like this. And yeah. And the other one is a musician. I can speak a bit about him, not about education, but the one who is saying that anything about music is it's a good start for a conversation with him, and even for the music theory. I met this guy in London, and he's a musician, a professional singer and musician. And the day we met, so we had an appointment in a bar, in a terrace, the thing that once upon a time we had, and he he started his interview with a big wide smile. So I just asked him, why is it? Why are you so happy and so smiley? And he told me a very nice story, because he told me that when he started his engine in his car, he heard for the very first time his song on the radio. So the radio was playing his song, and the day after he was going to a TV show to promote his album, and with his band, and he was very glad to. He said it feels very, of course, emotional, but very strange to him to hear this music, and it wasn't made on purpose. It was just, turning on his car, the engine of the car, and then the music started. His music started. So probably if we have some musician, I see one at least. it probably recalls something to you. Anyway, that was these fragments and this part of the book. Do you have some question? Do you have some remarks? Do you understand me? So we can pass. We can go to this suitcase. So it's not the biggest suitcase I've ever had, and especially when I'm traveling. But here, I'm not kissing you, but I think the cat is really getting crazy. Misty, come here. Oh, that's really the mess. Anyway. Oh, now London is calling me. Oh no. I will answer. It doesn't make sense to answer, but some people, what's going on? It's that some people are on my professional profile trying to log in the live show, and they didn't see that my live show is on my personal profile on Facebook, so it's just a mess. And the cat is destroying everything, so I will do something that I have never done on the live. It's just to fix this mess. Back. Okay, so the much messy life I've ever done. So I got this suitcase with people, and these people probably are waiting for me on the other page of Facebook, but it doesn't matter. I will pick up some. So these are some collection of what I just bring back with me with all this meeting and the people that I met. So you have business cards, you have napkins, you have a coaster, and I just randomly pick some and let you know about the story, because behind all these little pieces of my life and paper, there are fantastic stories. So I will pick these ones and let you know. So it's a coaster, and I have a few, because not because I drink a lot, but because I had a lot of interviews in bars, because we were still allowed to make it happen there. So it is a coaster from Bergen. Bergen is a bar in Brooklyn. I think I have been there once or just twice, and someone wrote me like a very nice message there, and it makes me remember him. It was a him, and he told me, go as far as you can, build, dream, venture beyond what is thought possible. So of course I love what he wrote. I love that he wrote that to me. And this guy, actually I interviewed him afterwards, but I met him in the street, in front of a bookstore, and he is very special to me, because he was about to buy a bus, a scholar bus in New York, so the yellow big one, to build his own gallery and moving art gallery. So he came to me in the street, and we started talking, and he asked me what I was doing. I told him, and I asked him what he was doing, and we were I feel quite emotional while saying that, because we were in the middle of our project, and it was about to we were about to give birth to my book, and him for his this project, not the Bergen one, but the bus. So I interviewed him in a botanical garden a few days after this, and we saw each other in Cyril Dion premiere in New York for his movie and documentary Tomorrow. And yeah, it's 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 one of the very good person and memory that I got in my book. And um, what can I say? He's still around. He's still doing a thing. He's a fantastic human being. Um, we are in touch time to time. We were in touch just right before the confinement and the lockdown. So he came to France. He visited me, and now I can't go back to the US. So always keep your coasters and always go to bars with nice person, because then you can tell some stories. And I will give you another story, because it was I told you that normally I'm supposed to type a text and write a text every live I'm doing, so every 11 days. And thank you, Tiffany. Actually, I will say something about the home sits that I did during all this journey, because you are in the middle of my book. I mean, not you, but the name of your dogs that I sit for, because home sitting and owners have been a big part and opportunity for me to type my book and to assemble all these little stories and fragments. So thank you, Tiffany, and thank you for Susan as well, because you were one of them too. So I tell you this story, and I don't know if you can see that on here on Instagram. So it's a little penguin, and this little card hide a long story, but it's not a long story because it is long to tell it a bit in English, but it is a very fantastic story, because I will show you why and how every single meeting, every single human being that we are meeting and just by chance, or because we're going to see them and interview them, you have a fantastic story around. So I'm starting. So it is a penguin, because I had an appointment at Penguin Book Edition publisher. So the publisher house in New York that some of you might know. It is in the middle of New York, in Saatchi building, and I have been there for an appointment. I stayed there 2 hours, and my book not only was not launched, but I only typed at this time 50% of my typewriting things. So if I could have an appointment at Penguin Books publish house, it's because I start the story from the beginning. So once I have a friend with this fantastic artist who is called Ginny. So it's kind of a famous street artist and a very talented street artist. So he is based in London, but I know him from Australia, so a long time ago. And because he is such a special person, I decided to make him a surprise. And with a friend of mine in Switzerland, so the both of us from Geneva, we fly to London, and we go to make a surprise, because he was doing an exhibition in London, and we decided to go for his opening. So we went there. We had a fantastic night, and he was, I think, happy that we did this surprise. But just a few days before the surprise, because I knew that I was going to London for a few days, I emailed another very special human being that became a huge part of my book, because not only he is in the thanks page, special page, but he is also one of the two writers of the preface. His name is Mark, and I didn't know him at this time. So I knew him because he directed a fantastic documentary about the last man on the moon, which is the name of the documentary. He won a BAFTA, is on Netflix and whatever, every good places got his movie. But at this time, I was just amazed by the documentary he made, because of course I'm interested into space things and the moon, happy full moon actually, for everyone. And so I said, oh, maybe I can meet this guy, because he was doing this documentary, and he told the story of Gene Cernan, who is the last man on the moon, in a very peculiar way, and I will link and put the references down on the comments. But anyway, so I emailed him a few lines saying, hey, I think we are working on the same topic, which is human being. So I'm in London for a few days. Would be in to meet, that we can meet. And thanks to his kindness and the kindness of his assistant at this time, Sarah, thank you, he said yes. And so back to the party, back to Jimmy C. Exhib. We had this great night with my friend, and then the day after, I had to go to the appointment with Mr. Mark. And I was so eager, and I was so impressed to meet him, that I said, no way, I won't be late. So I was so early. I was about 2 hours before the appointment. That never happened. So sorry for French people who knows me, but when I do interview, I'm on time. But this interview was so special to me that I didn't want to miss it. And so 2 hours time, I found the bar, I found the place where I was supposed to meet him. And I was still with my friend from Geneva, and she said, okay, well, what are we doing to do now? You are waiting here? I said, no, just let's go and wandering around, that I like to do too. So we were in London, South London, and around Old Street, Shoreditch, and we walk around, not far, because I didn't want to to get lost. And we find a beautiful store, like it was actually a signboard and graphic designer things, but there were a lot of big sign, like letters, old letters, like the one which fell apart. And so the door was open, and I saw those fantastic letters. So I'm a big fan of graphic design and letters, so I was just trying to see a bit more. And an old guy, I won't say he's old, because if he's seeing this video, but an older guy than me saw me like trying to see. So he said, come in. I said, oh, no, I don't have time. I only have like 1 hour and 45 minutes. And so he said, come in. And we started talking with him. And his name is Brian. And he's now retired, but he was, he is he collects all these bold sign letters, and he's a fantastic graphic designer. And so because of his age, he has a lot of story to tell. So I said, okay, Brian, I can't interview you right now because I have another person to see. But please, I text you, I emailed you, and the next time I'm coming to London, I promise I will interview you. That's what I did. So fast forward, I came back to London, and I interviewed this huge human being called Brian from the signboard. By the way, the interview with Mark went very, very, very well, and I can thank him enough for everything he did for me in London, including the suitcases party. And And so Brian, around the very first question of my interview, said to me, "Oh, you remind me somebody. You remind me a girl, a fresh girl." He said. I was fresh at this time, and and he said, "You remember this girl that I met? Her name is Meg." And because she's always speaking about human being and she met she's involved in arts and a lot of stuff. So he combined us and he said, "I will give you a contact because you told me that you were living in New York. So if by any chance you go there, you go back there, you just call her and she will give you an appointment. And by the way, she is working at Penguin Books Publishing House." That's the way I was related and connected to Meg, who gave me an appointment when I came back a few months after to New York. And I was only at the beginning, or not the beginning, but the half of my book. I haven't been there yet to introduce the book, but it's on my list. And that was a very great, the interview and all this stuff going very well. And the funny little fact about my appointment at Penguin Books was not the first thing we talked about, because the first thing was Claire Smith about about a book she just wrote, which is The Wonder Society. So I think I belong to it. But the second thing we talked about was street art, because she loves street art, and she was a fan of Jimmy C, my Aussie friend, the one when I came to London for his surprise. So how do you say that in English? The loop is the circle is over, or something like this. I don't know. Anyway, that was a very long story. I'm sorry, but it is one of the stories of not this book, but all the when you connected to people. Hi, bonsoir, Monsieur le cardiologue. Hi, I just met a guy, and that's also a link altogether that I talked about on the last show, that I met a person, and because he asked me why I got a stethoscope with me, and I said, because I'm like a person who listen to their heartbeats, and they say, "This is my job, and this is a real one, a medicine." So welcome. This live is in English, but I tried. So anyway, a big story, but to thank all the people that always connecting all the other people. We are speaking about hearts, but that's the name of the book. Heartist is just because I'm pretty sure that we are all connected all together, and it's like a game. It's like a game to find all these little threads and to connect them all over. That's it, all together. Do you have any question? I was so long. That's the longest show ever. Do you have any question? Do you have any comment about what I just said, about a story that you want to share with us? I will write you some links in the comments, and to refer all these fantastic people and their art that I mentioned. Today we are the 26th, and I wanted to say happy birthday to 3 persons. One is my cousin Laurent, so Laurent, happy birthday if you are watching this video. And the other one is another Aylen. So Aylen is a drawer and a fantastic artist, and so if she finds this video and in English, happy birthday, Aylen. And another one that I want to wish happy birthday is a pretty famous. We just spoke about we just spoke about street art, and okay, all the thread around the book representative of all the thread that connect us all. Partly, yes, Tiffany. It's a very good question. I will come back to the happy birthday just afterwards, but it's a really good question, Tiffany. And this is, you're right, this is a red thread, and it is my size. So I can't say it's a very long one because you know my size. um, but it is the symbol, as you said, of course, because we needed to close the book or to make it less fragile. Because I'm pretty sure our stories help us to, as you said, relate and all the thread and connects everyone together. But it also, for me, the meaning of all the stories we had during our life. And the funny part, when you have the book, it is closed. So you have technically to unlock it. And you have to, either way, a lot of people do, they do all the way they want. Oh, hello, Mark. I'm sorry, we just talked about you, but I know you were stuck on the other page, and I will let you know afterwards what happened with Facebook, and at least when I know it. But I'm sorry, but you can follow the live on YouTube afterwards. So speaking about the link, you are you have to cut it, you have to unlock it, you have to, I don't know, you do whatever you want with it. And that's for me a symbol of the fact that we choose if we keep the stories with us, we choose if we collect them in the suitcases, or if we just throw them and forget them, because some of them are not that good. So that's, yeah, there's a lot of symbol with the red thread, but mainly it's to link all the hearts all together, at least the 391 hearts in this book. Thank you for your question, Tiffany. That's something that I explain in my lecture when I'm in the audience, with an audience. And so, thank you. So I was thinking about Street Art, and a very special day for a very special person. So today is the birthday of Kiddy Sydney. Does anyone knows who is Kiddy Sydney? We are friends now on Facebook, so I'm very kind of lucky. I've never met him in person, but I've met a lot of people who knows him just because he is one of the first person who draw and paint on the Berlin Wall. And so we have a connection with another guy in France that I met in Paris, and who is a who collections some big fragments of the original walls and of Berlin, and he invited some artists to paint on this huge historical pieces of wall. But today, yes, it's the birthday of Kiddy Sydney, so I will put his reference. He's still painting. I still see some of his work, and he's doing some lives and some picture, and we have a connection recently together. So for me, it is someone. I mean, like. Painting on the Berlin Wall when he was still on, and being the first, because you know the story, you know the history, that this wall, of course, been falling apart now, but falling down, but it has been a good way or good medium to tell stories, to communicate between the two sides of the wall. And so Thierry Lenoir and Kiddy Sydney are very representative and very important in the street art scene. So happy birthday, Kiddy. That's about it. Do you have questions? I love your question, Tiffany. Thank you, Mark. I'm so sorry that you missed a bit of this because of technical things. It has never happened before, so I keep you a bit more. Is there anyone that I didn't say hello to? Because I like to know who are here, just to send a big and warm hello afterwards. So we have Sweden, we have Switzerland, We have Brighton, we have London, we have Lyon. Sabrina, where are you? The south of France, I guess. Maybe not, or maybe in the US too. So is that it? I can't wait to see you again, guys. I can't wait. As I said, uh, the United Kingdom for the last years of my life before these crazy things uh, has been my host. So I really want to thank you because I have still a few minutes to go. To thank you all, every single person who are and who is hosting people, I would say like me, but nomadic people, artists on their way, because you can't imagine how important it is for us to be able to work. So I was doing home sitting, but I know a lot of people were just hosting like um, artists for residencies or just open the door of their room. And of course, Mark is on the top list of them because he had so many times bring back my suitcases, keep my typewriter safe, hosting me in his room, even though it was like 5,000 kilometers away. So thank you, Mark. Thank you, Tiffany, and all the home sittings community, because I enjoy my time so much with your animals, and I can't wait to see you. You know that this live show is not replacing another show, but a real live one that I have in mind for such a long time. And it was supposed to be the launching party of my book, and it couldn't happen for the reasons we all know, but it's still in my mind. And you know what? The first row of the big just in front of the stage were already booked for you guys, for all the people who host me, and you are in the middle of the book, in the very special thanks page, with all your name and with all the name of your animals, because they have been precious. That's precious hearts too. So I will leave you with a nice cup of herbal tea. Thank you. I don't know your name, Monsieur le cardiologue. I can't remember your first name. I'm sorry. I know the name of your daughter. But thank you for being here. Thank you, Tiffany. Hope to see you soon. I will doing the next show in French with a special guest, so be there. We're going to speak a lot of art and art beats. Okay, François. Bonsoir, François. Sorry for that. And the next show will be in French, and once a while I will be doing an English live. I'm so sorry for this technical problem with Facebook. I have no idea what happened on my professional page, and I will try to fix it for the next time. Thank you for Instagrammers. Thank you, Facebook. And the whole show will be on my channel on YouTube just in a few hours and a few minutes, as soon as I can transfer it. So you can follow all the episodes, and as I said at the very beginning, it seems that the translator, the automatic translator of YouTube works pretty well. So feel free to watch other episodes, and they are on IGTV, IGTV also on Instagram. Bye bye for now. So glad to have been able to conduct this. And bye bye Sweden, bye bye Paris with François, bye bye Brighton, bye everyone on Facebook as well. And I talk to you very soon, and thank you to have been there. Happy full moon. Bye. Bye bye Facebook, and so sorry for all this mess. And thank you, Mark Trudgens. Oh, your number, the numéro 17, is still home. He's still waiting to cross the channel. Bye bye.